Good evening. It's Thursday, April 5th, 2018, and we welcome you to another episode of SKP.
That's right, and I'm your host, Corinne Harris.
And I'm Stephen Alexander. In today's episode, we have Director of APSU Student Life and Engagement, Victor FELTS, here to talk about the organization, ways students get involved in the club, and the impact that student life and engagement has on students.
In today's topic, Steve and I will discuss a story of a Texas man accidentally shot in the head on Facebook Live.
So kick back and relax. You're in for a good episode. You're watching SKP.
A Facebook Live video captured the moment a man was accidentally shot in the head on Easter. Cyan Rose has the story.
Surveillance video shows the group sitting inside a car outside the then closed Valero gas station for several minutes when suddenly the doors fly open and two people jump out. This video, streamed live on Facebook, shows what happened inside the vehicle. A group of friends laughing, seemingly having a good time, joking around. You see a man in the back seat put a gun on the armrest. Then 25-year-old Cassandra Damper pulls another gun, waving it in front of the cell phone camera. Devin Holmes, sitting in the driver's seat, makes it clear he's uncomfortable.
Making me nervous.
We draw down on.
And then, we're not showing you what happened, but it was caught on camera. Devin Holmes shot in the head, bleeding inside the car. The gas station surveillance video shows Damper and the man who initially had the gun run from the vehicle, and then a crowd gathers in disbelief, with police and EMS arriving shortly after. Police arrested Damper, charging her with tampering with evidence when they say she tried to wipe gunshot residue from her hands. Friends described Devin as a good man and a good father, devastated that he could be the victim of something so senseless.
Police said the victim, Devin Holmes, is on life support. The case will be referred to a grand jury to see if any additional charges will be filed. So, Corinne, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, this is not a joke. Like, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, first, I just want to say our condolences goes out to the family,
it really does.
because, you know, this is a hard thing to deal with.
Yeah.
And it's just like, my thing about the video, it's just shocking because, you know, Devin said he was nervous when she was holding a gun up to his face, and she just kept it to his face, and then she just pulled the trigger.
And I understand that, because if he said, I'm nervous, like, why are you doing this? Why would you heard him say that. Why are you continuing to do that?
Like, what was her motive behind it? You know, you always been taught, you know, never play with guns, and she shot it anyway. Like, it's kind of confusing, like, at the same time, because I had actually seen the video on Facebook, and it showed the entire thing. It showed them having a conversation in the car, and so it was like a third guy who was in the back seat, and some people say he nodded at the female to pull the trigger. Did you ever see the video on Facebook?
I didn't see the video on Facebook, but what I did see was, even if he had nodded at the girl to say, hey, like, don't do that, it's only so much you can do, because it was already two people, and she was doing the most with that gun anyways. So if he was to get involved, it would have been probably an even bigger explosion of what had happened.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I just don't like how it turned out, because I feel like guns are not a toy. And we're not a political show here. We're not talking about politics. I'm just saying guns are not a toy. I don't know, some people maybe grew up with guns in the house. I know I did. At my grandparents' house, they have guns in every room. And I knew as a kid, you don't touch the gun.
Exactly.
That gun's over there in the corner for a reason. You leave it there, but don't touch the gun. It's not a play toy. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly. And this story brought me back to what happened like when I was in middle school. I actually had a friend who I was going to school with, and, you know, her brother was playing with a gun, and then, you know, he shot her in the head. And, you know, it was sad that she had passed away, but it's just like, you cannot just play with guns.
No, you can't.
Because you have a story too, right?
Yes, I do. Actually, at my high school, you know, it was really sad because it wasn't intent to happen the way that it did. But two friends were going hunting, and a guy actually got shot. He got shot. His friend shot him. And the friend didn't mean to do it, but because the gun just went off, because they were trying to load it or something, but the gun just went off.
It's just, I'm just confused. Why do people think they should just play with guns?
I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, I can take you to Toys R Us. They're going out of business anyway, and you can get you a toy, cheap. You know what I'm saying? If you want what is that, a water gun or whatever you call it? I can buy you one of them if you want to play with that.
Or like what they call a BB gun.
BB guns or something like that. But still, I mean, why would you play with a real gun that's loaded? You get what I mean?
Exactly.
And then, even though it's a touchy subject, why would you jeopardize the fact that it's a touchy subject? Because now we hear about gun control and different, thoughts on guns. Why would you jeopardize that? You know what I mean? Because so many people are on different sides of the fence when it pertains to this subject. It's another story that, highlights this. I feel like because some people believe that, they've been using guns all their lives. Why should I not be able to use my gun? And some people believe in stricter gun laws. So this right here, I just feel like this whole situation that was played out on the video, it's just not a good situation.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It adds more trauma to what's going on.
I wonder what they're going to do now about the gun laws. Like, are they going to make it harder for people now to get a gun, with the background checks and everything?
I don't know. And I'm thinking about the people that already have guns.
Because we do need them. Like, look at the world we live in. Like, we do need guns, but you can't be using a gun for the wrong reason. And simple, like a Facebook video, like you're going live. Like, what was your motive for going live to do that?
Then that's my thing. Why would you go live? Why would you go live on Facebook? Hey, there's a gun.
So did she have this in her mind the whole time that she was going to shoot him? Like, I feel like it was a setup. I'm just going to say I feel like she did set it up. But I'm happy that she was charged with tampering with evidence. Hopefully they find something else that they can charge her with, because that's a really tough situation to be in. Well, we must take a commercial break, but coming up, we'll have Victor FELTS from APSU Student Life and Engagement. Stay tuned. You're watching SKP.
How will you lead to a better future? Will you lead through life-changing innovations, or will your leadership shine through the quality of your work? Success is defined by the individual. So it's time to think about the person you want to be and where you will learn to lead through excellence. It's time to become a governor at Austin Peay.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Stephen Alexander, alongside my co-host, Korean Harris. Our guest today is highly interactive with student success and on the campus. I don't know where. My throat's messing up today, but that's okay. But here with us today is Victor FELTS. How are you, Victor?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm good.
Great.
Thank you for coming to the show today.
So we know you're a Joe Burns native. At least I know that.
Right.
So can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I grew up in Robertson County, grew up on a tobacco farm. Actually went to undergrad here, got my degree in elementary education, and then went on to University of South Carolina, where I got my master's degree.
Okay. So how was that? Did you enjoy?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Austin Peay was a great experience because it was a smaller school, and then I had the opportunity to go to a larger state school to get a different perspective on things.
Right.
Yeah.
So the best of both worlds.
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about student life and engagement?
Absolutely, yeah. We like to consider student life and engagement the spark plug of the university. There's a lot of activity that happens in and around our office. We do a lot of the programming on campus, whether it's through the Hispanic Cultural Center, the Adult Non-Traditional and Transfer Student Center, or the Governor's Programming Council, or the Student Organization Council. We do quite a bit of programming here on campus.
When you say programming, can you describe that a little bit more?
Sure, absolutely. For instance, last night we had the Hispanic Cultural Center graduation ceremony. So there were over 30 students who either identify as Hispanic or have been regulars at the Hispanic Cultural Center and their programs. And it was a beautiful graduation ceremony. They got serapes to wear at graduation. They were honored with medals if they were graduating with honors. And so nice meal, things like that. So that is one of the type of programs. Next week, the Adult Non-Traditional and Transfer Student Center is having a program called Helping Hands.
I actually get to help on that.
And so it's a fantastic event. It's one of my favorite events of the year. It's an opportunity for graduating non-traditional students to honor somebody that's helped them along the way, whether it's their parent who babysat for them, their husband who sacrificed and worked 2 jobs, or a professor who just really took extra time to help them get through college. And it's usually pretty emotional. A lot of people end up in tears because of the stories and the help that goes on. So
it'd be a nice event to attend. I'm excited about working it next week.
Too. You working it?
Yeah, well, since I'm in advanced event planning, we came up with the decorations and everything to put in. I did the music playlist, so I'm excited.
Oh,
You know, I
Lord,
love
what did
music.
y'all do? Don't let her do the music playlist now.
So how does the department seek for students to get involved?
We sometimes we don't even have to ask students to get involved, but when we do, we typically advertise through social media. Our graduate assistants and our interns are really savvy with all the different types of social media, and so we have a really big following. One of the things we've done to get more students to actually follow us on social media is we used to just give away T-shirts at events, and now you're not going to get a T-shirt until you show us you follow us on social media. So we've gotten a lot more followers that way. We've doubled this past year of the people that follow us on social media.
So do they need to follow you on every social media platform?
Just one. Just one.
Then you can get a T-shirt, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Now I'm happy you mentioned interns too. Like, do you have summer interns, or is it just for fall and spring?
What we typically do, we don't officially have an internship in our office. Our graduate assistantships are paid like everyone else. But our internships, usually if we find a student that wants to go into student affairs as a career, or they want to go into event planning as a career, we'll give them opportunity to intern in our office to get experience planning programs and things like that, so that when they go to grad school, they have an advantage over the other students, or if they go into their first job, they already have experience planning large-scale events where 2,000 or 3,000 people will show up.
We have to talk after the show, because I'm an event planner, so we have to talk. So how many students get involved with the organization each year?
It really depends. You know, during homecoming, we have thousands of students that get involved in the different activities. We have something going on every day and every night during homecoming. So for that, it's thousands. For other programs like our Gov's Lead program, it depends on what program is being presented. Sometimes we'll have close to 100 people participate. Sometimes we may have 3 or 4, but those 3 or 4 are going to get a great educational program.
Oh, okay, that sounds fun.
It does.
I'm gonna have to go to it myself. So what are some standards for being a student that you will have to be, you know, for getting into student life and engagement? Do you have to have a certain GPA?
Sure. If you're involved in the Gov's Programming Council, or if you're involved in the Student Organization Council, there is some GPA requirements, and it really depends on the position. You have to be a student in good standing with no discipline record with the university. And then really wanting to help out and get involved and help plan the events. If you're a student that's on the Gov's Programming Council, you get to decide what the programs are. The university administrators don't decide that. They decided they wanted roller skating on campus, so we had a roller skating party. They decided last year that during Apex weekend we would have the Wale concert, so we had a Wale concert. So really the students decide what the activities are.
Okay. So can you say that students being involved with student life and engagement, has it helped them to become better students on campus? Could you say that? Or?
Yeah, I don't know if it's helped them become better students, but what it's helped them to do is become engaged with the university. And we know that engaged and involved students graduate at a higher rate.
Yes, absolutely.
And so that's what we want. We want our students to graduate. And so that's part of the reason our office exists, and part of the reason we have some just really fun things to do, and some of our things are educational.
Do you know the graduation, I cannot talk today, graduation rate for students who were in student life and engagement? Do you know what that rate is?
Not really, because there's really no way to track everybody that comes to all of our events. With GPC, for instance, it's open to anybody. So they meet every Monday at 5 o'clock, and there may be 200 people that show up for a meeting, and we don't keep track of all those people. But we do know that the students that are involved do make higher grades and do graduate at a higher rate.
So on the website, Student Life and Engagement have different descriptions of activities held on campus. So can you tell us what some of the activities, and what is Wisdom Walk?
Okay, I'll tell you what I'll start with Wisdom Walk. Wisdom Walk is a program out of our office that is designed to take a small group of students around campus on a walk, and it can be on any topic other than what the professors is supposed to be talking about in class. So for instance, if a history professor is leading the walk, can't be about history. They can talk about our feral cats on campus, they can talk about how to baste a turkey, but it's basically a way for students to interact with faculty outside of the classroom, but gain some knowledge in the process.
Wow, see, I never knew about that. We may have to go on that walk.
We have to go on that walk.
And see, help me with exercise and everything too. Well, we must take a quick break, but we'll be right back with more SKP.
Every year, we lose 400 people to carbon monoxide poisoning. 170 of these incidents are from non-automotive consumer products.
Poisoning can help to be prevented by installing a CO device in your home, having your appliances serviced by a qualified technician, even having your mechanic regularly touch up on your exhaust systems. Never have your vehicle running in a garage that is connected to a home, or have the garage door closed.
We're back in the studio with Victor FELTS. So Victor, tomorrow's First Friday. During the first of each month, you guys host First Friday. So what is that about?
It was originally designed for a way to keep people on campus on the weekends, in addition to provide something for the students that did stay on the weekend, something to do. And then it's kind of turned into a fairly large event where we usually have hundreds and hundreds of people that show up. And really, student organizations and departments offer activities for students to participate in. They can't just have a display table, they have to have some sort of activity. So some groups will do fundraisers for their philanthropy or raise awareness for their community service, and some will just have some fun games. Some will have giveaways. The Student Life and Engagement Office typically will give something away, either food or some tangible item.
Okay, so do students have to let you guys know what they plan on doing?
They do.
How does that work? Okay.
They do. They register and they let us know what activity they're going to be doing. And so we're very excited that this week, you know, it's been raining a lot outside.
Yes, it has.
And so we've got a lot of umbrellas to give to students tomorrow with our First Friday logo on it. So it's going to be pretty exciting.
I have to stop by and get one.
So is that the special treat?
That's the special treat.
What?
I wasn't supposed to tell. It's supposed to be a secret.
Because we were going to ask you that.
Okay.
Like, we want to know. We like getting the scoop.
So can we get first dibs since you know you're here today?
Come early.
Come early. What time?
11 o'clock.
11 o'clock.
11 o'clock. Because
Okay.
it's 11 to 1 outside the
11 to
UC,
1.
right?
In the plaza.
In the plaza. Okay.
Yeah.
We got the scoop.
We do. We have to go.
So with First Friday, how does it impact our campus?
Well, I think it provides students an opportunity for activities other than I've got to pay for something or I'm expected to complete something to get you know, to have some fun or whatever. It's just a really an opportunity to come together. What we've noticed is the groups that participate end up interacting with the other groups, which is beneficial because you get to know people outside of your normal social circle.
Exactly.
And so we've seen a lot of interactions through that.
And also another thing on the website, we know the Spirit Rock.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so tell us about Spirit Rock.
We love our Spirit Rock.
Yes.
It was a task to get the Spirit Rock. Between Student Government Association and the Student Organization Council last year, they finally made it happen. And it's situated close to the athletic facilities. On the corner where the ROTC building is by the Red Barn. And anybody can paint the Spirit Rock. Typically student organizations will paint it to advertise their events that are coming up. We'll paint it to advertise Family Weekend or Homecoming, things like that. But anybody can paint the rock.
And can you put inspirational quotes on it? That's what I'm thinking.
You can do anything unless it's offensive.
Offensive, right.
Yeah, and we have paint in our office just in case that happens. We're going to run out there and paint it, paint over it. But
We have to go paint on the rock.
Can we paint SKP on there?
absolutely, yeah.
People won't know what that means.
Yeah, the only guidelines are you can't have anything offensive, and you have to wait at least 24 hours from someone else painting it before you can paint it. So you have to allow for theirs to be seen for at least 24 hours.
Right. So my question is, what are some unique themes you have seen during, First Friday? Because, students come up with their own ideas. What are some unique ways that they present themselves in their organization?
I don't know if I can say the most creative one.
Okay.
At one time, Alpha Delta Pi, they do philanthropy and community service for the Ronald McDonald House. And so they created this huge thing that looked like a thing of French fries, and they took yellow pool noodles and put it in as the French fries, and you had to throw the noodles into the container to win a prize. And so that was a lot of fun. People really responded to that. And in addition to having fun and being silly, they raised awareness about the Ronald McDonald House and gave information about what they do with them.
And it's actually a Ronald McDonald Walk that's coming up next Saturday,
I believe
right?
so. Yeah, that's one of their philanthropies. They raised several $1,000s in that event.
It's gonna be exciting. I gotta start telling you about these events.
And then I know I follow them on Instagram, so I saw some of the things they were doing, but I didn't know they were coming. They're gonna be here, right?
Next
week.
April the 14th, yeah, we're at April the 14th at 9 a.m.
So before you go, is there anything else you would like to share?
You know, I think it's just important for students to get involved on campus. I think it's important to meet people that are outside your social circle.
Meet people outside your social circle. Okay. What do you mean by that?
You know, I think a lot of times, you know, in high school, when you go into the cafeteria, you had this group of students that always sat over here and they looked alike, and you had this group of students that sat over here and they all played sports, and you had this. And so I think when you come to college, it's the perfect time to get rid of that and reach out and speak with someone that is different from you. Speak with someone that doesn't look like you, doesn't do the same things you do. And so, you know, a community made up of different types of people is a much better community.
Right. So my question for you, this is a personal question. I know for me, you know, we're both Joe Burns natives. It's a small community. So do you think college has helped you, you know, kind of embrace and get out of being in the small community? You know what I mean? I love Joe Burns High School, but you know, it's totally different there than here in college.
Sure, absolutely. I wasn't even supposed to come to college, and I didn't want to work in the tobacco field anymore, so I'm like, I'm going to college. And then I joined my fraternity, and my fraternity, one of the things they taught me is membership of people based on different temperaments, talents, and convictions is superior to one of all people just alike. And so that was kind of my first introduction of, wow, I can get along with someone with different political beliefs. I can get along with someone whose family has a lot of money. So that was my initial kind of introduction to there's a whole new world out there and you better get in it. But yeah, absolutely, being involved and doing the different things on campus and meeting different people is definitely a benefit.
Sounds like it.
Yes.
Well, Mr. Victor, we thank you so much for coming to the show today. We truly enjoy having you. For more information about student life and engagement, please visit their website at www.apsu-edu/student life and engagement. We'll be right back with more SKP.
I'm Andrea Bender. I'm a senior and I'm studying graphic design. I chose my major coming right out of high school because I knew that I wanted to do something with art, but I didn't really know what. And once I've graduated, I will be the first in our immediate family to hold a bachelor's degree. And the only way that I could manage to get out of here in 4 years is to take 15 hours every single semester. And on top of that 15 hours, I have to complete 75 hours of work study every semester. So to complete my 75 hours and make as much work study money as I can and do all of my artwork, I am constantly running around and I'm constantly working. What drives me is completing that and bringing that pride, you know, home to my family, because they're all really excited for me. No matter what department you're in, no matter where you're gonna end up in life, right now as it stands, we are all in the exact same place together. So we just need to be kinder to one another.
Thank you for tuning in to SKP. Remember to follow us on our Facebook page at Stephen and Corinne Perspectives and on Instagram and Twitter at SKP Productions.
We will see you next Thursday with more news and entertainment. So remember to tune in on Thursdays at 3 p.m. to catch us live on CDE Channel 9, Spectrum 192, and UVerse 99 in Middle Tennessee. And if you cannot catch us live, you can watch us on YouTube at APSU/TV. What is it? It's /TV, right?
APSU-TV / SKP.
That's right.
SKP. You put me on the spot, so I was like, wait, what is it? What is the website?
We're trying to advertise our show. We don't even know what to tell you guys. It's horrible, isn't it?
But we do thank you all for tuning in to the SKP show today. And also for the Texas man who was shot, our condolences and prayers do go out to your family. Remember, you guys, you can't be playing with guns.
No, you cannot. And also, if you see someone playing with a gun, let them know, hey, this is not right. But before we go, always remember to...
We all got to say it. Wait, we got to do the countdown.
1, 2, 3.
Let's go, P.